Hi, my name is Zach Pawlos, and I'm a senior in the Landscape Contract Design Build option at the Pennsylvania State University. For my job shadow, I had the pleasure of doing it with Eichenlaub Landscape in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My host for my job shadow was Tom Eichenlaub, one of the 5 brothers that started this company. Mr. Eichenlaub is a landscape manager where he manages several crews with around 30 employees in each of them. But that's not all he does. He said he wears many different hats doing various different tasks throughout the company. When I first arrived, he gave me a quick tour of their facilities and showed me around the place, like their offices, supply yard, and garages. After the tour, we went into the field to our first job site. During this meeting, the crew discussed what was being done on site and what needed to be done. During the stop, we met with the landscape architect for the project, a subcontractor, and another Eichenlaub employee dealing with utilities. For this site, there was a lot to cover in the meeting. We spent a good amount of time talking about the further scheduling of everything to be installed to get on the same page. We discussed the water feature to be installed in the middle of the driveway as the focal point coming into the property, with a planting bed around it to fit its shape. For the back patio, the finishing touches were being put on the fireplace to accompany the previously installed heated hot tub and infinity pool, as well as grading to the front entrance of the patio. Lighting was also being planned and placed throughout the patio and to the backyard, uplighting trees to add interest at night instead of just being black. The final thing we talked about was the pathway around the pool and patio for easy access throughout the yard. Our site visit included a complete walk-around of the whole site, addressing any questions and/or problems that came up, like new utility placement, drainage, and existing material placement as well. At the end of the meeting, the conversation turned to further scheduling of maintenance and their next meeting. Our next stop was a site where a crew was installing a patio above a garage and doing some planting. At this site, they found themselves running into several different problems. Before anything could be done, they had to straighten a bent structural beam to ensure the stability of the garage below. After that was addressed, they dealt with the drainage and sealing of the patio due to water leaking into the garage below. After all the problems were resolved, railings were to be installed around the perimeter of the patio. As we were on site, we had a brief visit with the client to update him on the progress and talk to him about possible reconstruction to the entrances to the patio. As our day was coming to an end, Mr. Eichenlaub took a little more time out of his day to answer some interview questions for me. How did your career begin with Eichenlaub?
My 4 other brothers and I ran a little maintenance landscape company when we were younger. Our father told us that he could pay for 1 year of college and the rest would be up to us. Then Hurricane Agnes hit PA and gave us a lot of business. At the end of the first year, we were doing well and wanted to continue our business. So our father said we could either choose to go to college or stay. He would back us with the money we needed for business, acting as the bank. So that's what we did, stayed and started working at our own home. As our business grew, we decided to go to school, but we would rotate in doing so someone was always here to run the business.
What do you look for in employees when hiring for Eichenlaub?
We look for a good attitude and work ethic. Not so much experience and knowledge, because you can teach those things, but you can't teach hard work, and that's what we want.
Where do you see the industry going, and what are some trends as of late?
I see the industry going more green and sustainable, as well as the trends that are coming from the bigger states like California, Florida, and New York, as they are doing the cutting-edge trend. We already know what they are by the time they make it to PA, but if I had to pick some specific trends, it would have to be outdoor kitchens and water sensors.
What kind of problems do you find yourself running into on a day-to-day basis?
Employee-related problems would have to be number 1, like people not coming to work and any other thing you can think of when it comes to employees. Then I would have to say planning and organizing, because it's so essential to have good planning, but things are always changing at a moment's notice. Also, customer-related issues, because the customer might not always understand what and why you're doing something, so you have to explain to them why and keep them calm, because sometimes they freak out.
Finally, what part of your job do you enjoy the most?
Seeing that final project when you are finally done and having pride in it, because you know you are part of recreating that space. But that isn't it. Also, interacting with both my employees and clients. At times it's hard, but in the long run it's great and I wouldn't change it.
Overall, my job shadowing experience with Eichenlaub was a very good one, and I want to take the time to thank them for giving me that opportunity. Glad I had the opportunity to see what a day in the industry is.